To me, there's only 3 players that should be in contention to win MVP. Today I'll be giving you the top 9 candidates based off of odds to win the trophy and crack down who really has had the best season. Starting off at number 9, CJ Shreve. Listen, Shreve has had a fantastic year, there's no doubt about it. He currently leads the league in yards, a good touchdown to interception ratio, but the guy is a rookie. For a rookie to win MVP, he has to be absolutely clear of everyone else. He isn't even top 5 in touchdowns, they aren't even on track to win the division, and currently speaking, the Texans are out of a playoff spot. CJ Shreve will not win MVP. My number 8 is Patrick Mahomes. The reason why Patrick Mahomes is in the conversation is because of his name being Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's coming off a 5,200 passing yard season. Yes, he's coming off a Super Bowl, but that's last year. Currently speaking, he's outside the top 7 in passing yards, barely cracking the top 5 in touchdowns, and just lost to Jordan Love. He's having a decent year, but nowhere close to record breaking, and it has not been a Mahomes type of season where he has us saying, wow, this guy is taking the league by storm. At number 7, Lamar Jackson. Lamar has had a good year. Ravens are 9-3. He broke Mike Vick's record to become the quickest quarterback to record 5K rushing yards, but he has not been overly spectacular. 17th in passing yards, 18th in passing touchdowns, and you might ask me, well, how's he doing for rushing? Well, he has 11 fumbles so far, 6 of them lost, and isn't even in the top 20 in rushing yards. If the Ravens win the AFC, then I could see him bumping up some ranks, but the Ravens team overall has led them to that record, not Lamar Jackson. Number 6, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, the new favorite in the betting books to win MVP. An absolute joke. He's had a great year, no doubt. His best year so far, currently leading the league in touchdowns, top 5 in passing yards, best interception to touchdown ratio. I will happily give credit to where credit is due. The past 4 weeks, they've scored an average of 42 points. They blew out the Giants this year, 89-17 combined, but they only have beaten one team with a winning record, which was Seattle last week. And it was a close one. They lost to Philly, they got blown up by the Niners, and all their wins have come against poor teams. I get the argument of you can only beat what's in front of you, but it doesn't mean I have to value it as much. They may not even win the division. If they beat Philly and win the division, he's definitely in the conversation. But right now, you cannot tell me that Dak Prescott is the most valuable player in the league right now. Number 5, Tua. I put Tua slightly ahead of Dak because the Dolphins currently lead the AFC. Tua's 3rd in passing yards, 2nd in touchdowns. He had that 466-yard week in week 1. I personally don't think he gets the credit he deserves. We saw last year with Tua out, the Dolphins lost all 3 games. Tua is important to this Dolphins team, but there's one player on Miami that is more valuable. Number 4, Brock Purdy. I was debating on putting him higher, but here are all my reasonings. Top 7 in passing yards, 4th in touchdowns. The 49ers are 2nd in the NFC. He has a touchdown interception ratio of 23-6, which is the 2nd best in the league. Purdy has been polished this season. If you're questioning why I say you can't tell me Dak is the most valuable player, but I say Purdy is more valuable, he is. Last year in the NFC Championship, he goes down, 49ers are hopeless, get crushed. Now he's back. NFC Championship rematch, 314 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against Philly in Philly. He just proved to all of America what would have happened if he didn't get injured. He's 1st in pass rating, 1st in completion percentage, 1st in yards per attempt, 1st in touchdowns per attempt, and 1st in yards per completion. He's mastered a dominating win against a playoff caliber team in Steelers, put up 42 on Dallas, destroyed Philly in Philly, destroyed the Jags in Jacksonville. Against all those 7-win teams or more, Purdy has thrown 13 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. The 49ers have a plus 102 point differential this season against teams who were in a playoff spot entering week 14. The Ravens are 2nd best with plus 45. This 49ers team is good everywhere, and it helps, but Purdy has done his job to perfection. But just like Tua's case, I believe there's a player on the 49ers that deserves MVP over Purdy. Number 3, Jalen Herz. Listen, I'm a 49ers fan, and I know Purdy just outdueled Herz, but Herz has been having a more impressive year so far slightly. Top 10 in passing yards, most total touchdowns in the league with 31, currently the best record in the league, and what gives Hertz the edge over Purdy in my opinion is the crucial clutch wins. We saw against the Chiefs, Eagles down 10, Hertz comes back to win the game. We saw against the Bills, Eagles down 10, Hertz leads a field goal drive to tie the game and caps off a rushing touchdown to win the game in overtime. For Purdy, we saw him lose 3 straight games without Debo and Trent Williams. I give him the benefit of the doubt against the Browns because he did what he had to do to put Jake Moody in a position to steal the game, but against the Vikings, he threw pivotal picks in the second half and couldn't get the job done against the Bengals at home. Going back to the Eagles though, if those 2 field goal drives in the first quarter against the 49ers last game ended up resulting in touchdowns, the Eagles probably win that game. So I'm not going to harm Hertz after being stopped by the best defense in the league. To me, he's the best quarterback in the NFL for this season. Obviously Mahomes is still the best. As a 49er fan, I bet a lot of you expected me to put him first, but I didn't. Christian McCaffrey. He's been amazing. Leads the league in touchdowns with 17, on pace for his first ever rushing title, on pace for 607 receiving yards and 1,400 rushing yards, which is another 2K yards season from him. To me, it's interchangeable with who I have at number 1, and it solely depends on how the rest of the season pans out. But number 1, right now, I have Tyreek Hill. It is absurd to me how Hill has plus 2,500 odds. I know no wide receiver has won the MVP, but things that he is doing right now this season is phenomenal. He's on pace for over 2,000 yards. All he needs is 103 yards a game in his next 5 games, and he does it. What's crazy to me is he literally called it before the season that he wants to hit 2K and win the Dolphins a Super Bowl.
Break 2,000 yards next year, bro. I'm just checking it off my bucket list. And all I'm going to say is 2,000 yards was on my bucket list to get, bro, before I leave this league. And y'all think the cheater going to leave without doing something he promised himself he going to do as a G? 2,000 yards and another Super Bowl. We getting that. Believe that.
Tyreek Hill has been the most lethal weapon that I have ever witnessed. 215 yards and 2 touchdowns in week 1, 154 yards in week 3, 181 yards in week 5 with a 69-yard touchdown, 165 yards in week 6, 112 in week 8, 146 in week 11, 102 in week 12, 157 yards in week 13 with 2 touchdowns, 1 being 78 yards. He scored 7 touchdowns, over 40 plus yards, leads the league in touchdowns with 12. He has simply been unstoppable. And when I say this is the most impressive season I've ever seen from a wide receiver, we saw with Cooper Kupp a few years ago. Cooper Kupp had a great year, no doubt about it. Probably a top 3 wide receiver season of all time. Super Bowl MVP, I get it. The volume he was getting from Stafford was unreal. Every single catch Tyreek makes is all because of him. He creates so much space and is seriously unstoppable. Again, I'm a 49ers fan. Tyreek broke my heart in Super Bowl 54, but I give credit to where credit is due. Tyreek Hill is the most valuable player in the league.
Believe that.